Like, I'm telling you, for the Hardware 3 people out there, I think y'all should be pretty happy with this build. If I hadn't used version 13 and I'd gotten this on the Hardware 4 car, I'd be really happy with it. Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. We're finally back with another full self-driving video, and it's been a couple of weeks because I've been stuck on the same version in both of my cars. But as you can see, we're in my AI3 car. I finally got version 12.6.3, and I will go ahead and flash the software version up on the screen just because there's been a lot of software updates going out right now, and I'm having a hard time keeping track of all of them. So that will let y'all know what version I've got exactly, and it'll help me keep track of things too. So we're going to go ahead and get the drive started. As you can see, we still cannot start from park. We do still have to put it in drive, so it does not have that version 13 feature. But as you can see, I put it in drive and then I engaged and it immediately started going. There was none of that weird hesitation that I had with some of the earlier version 12 builds. And then also, it might just be because we're not starting from park, but it doesn't have any of that object and path detected like version 13 has. But like I said a second ago, I have used this version a little bit. This will be my first impressions on this test route, but overall, it is a huge improvement from 12.5.4.2. which is what I was stuck on for a while in this car. Now, this is not quite version 13. Now, a lot of people call it like a mini version 13. I can kind of get with that. It's so much better than 12.5.4.2 that, yeah, I mean, if that's what you're gauging it based off of, then yeah, I could see calling it a mini version 13 for sure. It's way smoother, way less phantom braking. Now, I have still gotten a little bit of phantom braking. That's not like totally gone. Only really once, and it was a weird situation. It was super dark outside. I had just engaged it. The ground was a little bit wet, but one way or another, a phantom brake's a phantom brake, and there was nothing in front of us, and it hit the brakes pretty hard. But other than that, I've been able to use it pretty reliably. I've used it back and forth to work, just on some random drives. I really like it so far, and one of the things I was pretty concerned about, I'm actually scrolling the wheel up a little bit because speed limit on here says it's 25 on this road. It's actually 35, and even though I've got it at a 40% speed offset, that still only sets the max speed to 35. I don't want it to be limited through here, but I don't really necessarily consider that an intervention. I don't know, maybe it is, but I'm not going to count it as one for this video. But yeah, overall pretty happy with the version so far. A little bit of weird brake hitting right there. I wouldn't call that phantom braking. It was just not a smooth slowdown for that corner, and there was like a trash can on the right, some cars coming past us on the left. But yeah, so it's way smoother than the previous version on AI3. It's still not anywhere near as smooth as version 13 is, but it is pretty good, and I really actually like the speed control for the most part. Well, I like the speed that it chooses to go. Like, it's not driving too slow through here, even though it says that the speed limit's 25 on the screen. We're doing a really reasonable speed through here, and on version 12 on my Hardware 4 car, before we got speed profiles on city streets, which this does not have yet, unless the speed limit's 50 miles per hour or above, it would just drive way too slow, and I was worried that this was going to be the same way, but I don't know, I'm pretty happy with the speed control with it, I can't lie, and that's, like, you know, if you watch my videos at all, you'll know that's probably one of my biggest complaints on all of the versions is speed control. And it doesn't have to drive exactly like I would. That's not what I'm trying to say. It's just, I don't know, they all had a tendency to just drive way too slow, especially on the road that we're on right now. Now we're turning off of it right now, but the road that we were on has always been a pain point ever since version 12 came out. So it is good to finally have a version 12 build that goes the speed limit through there. We're feeling pretty good so far. We're finally going to pass the 35 mile per hour speed limit sign, which gets the speed shown on the screen, which I still don't know if that actually affects anything at all, or if that's just mainly for the user to look at. I'm not sure how much the model pays attention to map data and what speed map data says that the road is, or if it's going solely based on vision and just determining what speed it wants to go. I know to some extent it does something because that's what it bases the speed offset off of, but as far as like what speed it chooses to go within that offset, if that makes any sense, I'm not sure how much that actually makes a difference. But things are feeling really good so far. If I had to describe the differences between this and version 13 to anybody wondering, because I'm sure somebody watching this is wondering, the smoothness, like I said, it's not quite as smooth. It just feels a little bit more twitchy, but nowhere near as twitchy as it used to be. I'll try to point it out on the steering wheel when I see it, which in the release notes, this says that it has the same release note that version 13 has about the new controller for smoother inputs or something like that. I might flash that up on the screen too. It is so much smoother than any other version 12 build. Version 12.3.6 was pretty good, but other than that, this is probably about as smooth as we've gotten, and it's just not quite at version 13 yet. Like, 13 just has no weird steering wheel movements whatsoever. It is just rock solid smooth. But this is good. I definitely I can use this with other people in the car and feel pretty comfortable about it, if that's any good measure to go by. So let's see how we do on offset right here. We're doing a good job offsetting over to the right because we need to be in this this straight lane, center lane. I don't know, there's two lanes on each side, or a lane on each side, but that felt really good. I don't know if it's because the truck in front of us kind of guided us in that direction. That does impact it through that intersection, but I have had a lot of issues through there with how it offsets for whatever lane it needs to be in. Sometimes if I'm turning left, it'll be way too far over to the right, or if I'm going straight, it'll be way too far over to the left, and that kind of stuff confuses people behind you, especially if, which we don't have that issue with this build, but if we're going too slow and people are trying to get around us right there, it's nice to like kind of indicate. I like the term I saw somebody use one time, like with body language from the car, which direction we're going to go. So I'm on the hurry speed profile. That wasn't really intentional. That's just what I had it set on from riding around yesterday. Once again, really happy with the speed control. We're already up to the speed limit. I can feel it speeding up to get a little bit higher than that. I think that's good. I've had issues before on this road where it just drives, once again, too slow, but yeah, very, very happy with the speed control on this. And deceleration feels really good. Once again, not quite as smooth as version 13, but this is definitely the best decel we've ever had in version 12. There's not been one as good as this one, at least not in my opinion. Acceleration is pretty good too. But even version 13 has this issue. It's not super smooth on acceleration. It feels like the car is uncertain about what speed it wants to go. It figures it out eventually, but it's like, we're kind of back to this, it accelerates up to a certain speed and then it slows down for a second. It's like it thinks again and then speeds up a little bit more and then thinks again. It's not just one smooth acceleration curve. Like if you were to look at it on a chart, you'd probably see, you know, some weird movement like that. But I have not had to do anything so far. It's probably the most confident version 12 build that's come out yet. If I had to say, I would say that I'm actually pleasantly surprised by this. I had, just to be totally honest, started kind of losing hope on the Hardware 3 car, and I had transferred my FSD from this to the Hardware 4 car, and I had subscribed on this one just because I wanted to continue to make videos, but it had been so long since an update had come out, and the last couple updates I'd gotten on this I was pretty disappointed in, and I was kind of tempted to cancel the subscription, but this is usable. I've been driving this car a little bit the last week or so just because weather's been ugly out, and just other cars just kind of been parked in the garage. I don't know, I like to switch between the two. But I've actually enjoyed using this build, and you can see steering wheel movements are super slow. It has not done anything uncomfortable during this drive. I mean, it has felt really good. Very happy with it. Now, I'm interested to see what kind of updates we keep getting, because there's been a little bit of news on the last earnings call where Elon pretty much just blurted out that Hardware 3 is going to need a computer update for the people who bought it outright. Still nobody really knows what that means. Does that mean that we're going to get a Hardware 4? Or not me personally, because this is just a subscription on this car, but does that mean that a Hardware 4 computer is going to get put into the Hardware 3 cars? What are they going to do with the cameras? Is it going to be like a Hardware 3.5 computer? I'd be interested to hear what y'all think. I have absolutely no idea. I think anybody saying anything is just going to be speculation at this point, unless they maybe work for Tesla. But So I'm interested to see what that does. Like, are we going to continue to get updates on the Hardware 3 car? Are they going to put all the resources towards Hardware 4 builds and whatever this upgrade, maybe retrofit, whatever you want to call it? There's some sticks in the road. I would drive around them. A car ran them over, but not really. That's not a huge deal. It wasn't like nails or anything sticking out of them. It was just sticks, but if it was a piece of wood with nails sticking out of it, I wonder if it would have gone around it. I doubt it's going to distinguish a stick from a board. But yeah, I think the future of Hardware 3 right now, I don't want to call it uncertain. It's uncertain in certain ways, if that makes any sense. We don't know, is it going to continue to get updates? I have a feeling it will. It might be few and far between, because this is, like I said, this is pretty good. I'm happy with this. So are we going to continue to get updates frequently, infrequently? Are we going to get, what computer are we going to get upgraded to? Or is AI3 going to get updated to? Are they going to do anything with the cameras? Super interested to see what comes of all of that. And like I said before, interested to know what y'all's thoughts are. It's good to be back filming an FSD video. Like I said, it had been a little while. I figured today would be an interesting day to do it too. It's been a little while since I've had a rainy day video, and it's not super rainy or anything like that, but it's pretty ugly out. Now, the windshield wipers do need to wipe right now. Hopefully y'all can see out well enough. I mean, I can see, but the windshield's pretty much covered in mist. Windshield wipers still having issues. I don't know that we're ever going to get that completely solved. I've had a Tesla for over 2 years now. Actually, interesting. It'll be in about 15 days. Yeah, 15 days, I think. It'll be exactly 2 years since I picked this car up. That's crazy. But windshield wipers have been an issue ever since I got it. And I understand that's a really hard problem to fix. And if you think about it, it's probably making a determination every, 100 milliseconds or so on whether or not it needs to wipe or not. So in the grand scheme, like if you were to do the math on it, it probably gets it right 99.9% of the time, but it does still wipe when it's perfectly sunny out, and then some situations like this, it doesn't wipe when I personally would usually wipe. Alright, so it looks like to the left we do have some traffic coming. We can go if we hurry up. Very nicely done. Just really smooth pulling out. Like, I'm telling you, for the Hardware 3 people out there, I think y'all should be pretty happy with this build. If I hadn't used version 13 and I'd gotten this on the Hardware 4 car, I'd be really happy with it. Like, I'm enjoying it, and it's confident, and I just really like the speed that it's choosing to go. I really have only had like 1 or 2 times, and it was just for a brief moment where it went too slow for me. Like right now, in my opinion, it's going way too fast. We're actually doing 15 over. And once again, we're still merging into this center lane here. So if you haven't not watched this test route, we need to be over into the right lane. Nice. It got over way earlier than it has in the past. I was expecting it to go further up. Like, we're turning right in 0.3 of a mile. Even version 13 sometimes will get in this left lane and it'll wait way too late to get back over. And like right now we've got traffic in this right lane that can create kind of an awkward situation. It did not do that. It handled that really well. In fact, it slowed down to get over behind this Jeep, which that felt really good. I'm really happy to see that. So turning right through here, man, it just feels really good. I am just so happy with the confidence with it. Like with version, the previous version on this 12.5.4.2, I had quit using it entirely. Like it was so bad about phantom braking that I didn't even want to use it anymore. So it's really nice to, like, I feel comfortable right now not having my foot sitting on the accelerator pedal. I can sit here comfortably. I'm not overly worried about it. Super happy with this. The last video I'd put out on AI3, I think I made clear that I did not like it at all. But props to them for getting this right. It took a little while to get it out. I think it was worth the wait. Yeah. I can tell it wants to go faster through here. I probably wouldn't be riding so close behind this Jeep, but funny I say that, and then the gap starts opening up. I think we might have slowed down a little bit, or maybe they sped up a little bit. Let's see what it does coming through this turn. Sometimes we've had like weird brake hits coming through here. I'm not sure how much the car in front of us is going to impact that. That might kind of set the tone for how we come through here, but no weird brake hit at all. You can see a little bit of movement in the steering wheel. It did brake a little bit late for them, which I have noticed that. There have been a couple situations where it braked a little bit late. In fact, the other day on the interstate, it actually engaged automatic emergency braking. Now, I was ready to take over. I saw it coming, but it waited way too late to hit the brakes. Let's see what it does through this intersection. You could see on the screen there for a second, it was wanting to hit the brakes. That's always been a problem intersection for, I have no idea why. It has always wanted to hit a lot of versions have wanted to hit the brakes through that intersection for me, and I'm just never really been able to figure out why, other than there's like a little black strip in the road on the other side where they clearly had to get down to like a water main or something like that. But it doesn't extend over onto our side. It doesn't really even look like a speed bump or anything, so I'm not sure why it does that. But you know, overall, very good drive so far. Haven't had to do anything, 0 interventions, 0 disengagements. It is feeling good. Choosing to go pretty quickly through here. It's up to 35, which is the max. I'm not going to increase it because the speed limit through here is actually 25. So, you know, I'm not trying to go 15 over, but I think that if this stop sign wasn't coming up and I didn't have the speed offset or the speed max or whatever set to 35, it would have sped up faster than that. All right, we are clear to the left if it wants to go ahead and go. Let's see what speed it chooses through here. A lot of builds have wanted to go too slow through here, but I don't think we're going to have that issue because that just doesn't seem to be an issue with this version, which I just can't tell you how much I appreciate that. Y'all probably tired of hearing me say it during this video, but to me, there's just nothing more annoying than FSD crawling around like a snail, and you know, it makes it feel like it's not confident. It makes people mad around you. I'm not like somebody who speeds a lot, but I live in that like 5 over threshold, and that's what this version seems to do a lot for me. So like right now we're doing 46. I'm perfectly fine with that. As long as we're doing at least the speed limit, but 1 or 2 mile an hour, 3 mile an hour over, I'm pretty happy with that. So one thing I'll be paying attention to up here, there's kind of like a sweeping left turn that we'll go through. Version 13 still does it. All of version 12 has always done it, is we really hug and almost ride over top of the center line. So let's see what it does once we get up there. A little bit off topic, but just an interesting comparison between, so the car we're in right now is a 2023 base model rear-wheel drive Model 3, and my other car is a 2024 Model 3 Performance. And this is the turn I was talking about a second ago. I'm just paying attention. We're still kind of hugging the inside line, but we're not quite riding over top of it like we had before. So a little bit of a slight improvement there. But anyway, like I was saying though, I drove the Model 3 Performance for a while and didn't, you know, this one just kind of sat for a while, but this is still a very nice car to drive. So, you know, if you're looking at used, a little bit of a weird brake hit there. But if you're looking at used Teslas and you're thinking about getting a 2022 or a 2023, a couple of weeks ago, I probably, if you were like a big FSD person, I probably would have discouraged you and told you to spend a little bit of extra money and very nicely handled it in the intersection and get the hardware 4 car. But like comfort wise, riding in the car, this is a very comfortable car. The seats, honestly, like I hate to admit this because I really like the Model 3 Performance seats in the new one, but it's really hard to beat how comfortable these seats are. I mean, these seats are just excellent. They are so comfortable to ride in. The interior of the car is still really nice. This version of FSD is really nice. You can get these cars for a really good value now. Like this one has the lithium iron phosphate, the LFP battery. A little bit of a weird movement in the steering wheel there, like a little bit of a jerk. But yeah, this one has the LFP battery that you can charge to 100%. I like being able to do that. Like I really like this car. No complaints about it whatsoever. But I still love the Model 3 performance, obviously. I love the white interior. It's so funny, I never thought I would get white interior, but anyway, back to FSD. It's doing great through here so far. There's something up in the road up here. Let's see what it does. It didn't really avoid it. I let it run it over. That was like a black, little black bag. I'm not sure what was in it. It kind of looked like a, it was probably a little bit too big for this, but it kind of looked like a dog bag, if y'all know what I'm talking about. So hopefully that's not what it was, and I don't have dog stuff all over the outside of my car. It's doing really good through here. Older versions were hesitant through here because this is kind of a tight road. A little bit weird through that turn. Probably should have slowed down a little bit more coming through there, but it handled it well. Like I said, it's feeling really good through here. It's carrying, honestly, I think that the speeds that it chooses to go are better than version 13. And we don't even have speed profiles on. Oh, okay, we are way, way over the center line right here. Yeah, there wasn't anybody coming, but that is a blind turn. You can't really see around the other side of it. Anyway. I have noticed that a little bit now that I'm thinking about it. It's not really bad by any means, but there are some weird lane centering things. I've noticed it on the highway too, but I think they can get that ironed out. A little bit of brake hitting from that SUV coming, but not bad. But like I was saying before, overall, if it was a little bit smoother, the speed control, I kind of like it more than version 13. And maybe that's just personal preference, but the speeds that it chooses to go, I don't find myself focused on, is it going too slow? Is it going too fast? It feels really good. All right, so we're turning right up here at this intersection. Deceleration felt really good, super smooth. Did a good job creeping forward for visibility and going. No complaints about that whatsoever. Now there's a area up here in about a quarter of a mile where we always get a weird brake tap. Version 13 does it. Most of my version 12 builds have been doing it. There's like a storm drain or a culvert pipe over to the right, and it's pretty much as soon as we go to pass that, it usually does it. So I'm gonna be ready for that. It's right about here is usually where it does it. Keep an eye on the screen. It didn't really do it. There were some of the chevrons showing, but that might have just been the car slowing down for this curve. So even version 13 does that weird little brake tap. So I don't really know what to make of that. Now, super interested in this next road. The speed limit through here is 50. The only version to go the actual speed limit through here has been 13. So we've got this weird speed limit sign set up. It says 50, and then underneath it says trucks 45. So it's read the correct thing. We've got 50 on the screen. That does mean that my speed profiles are engaged, which if you don't know yet, I don't think I've really talked about it, or maybe I did mention it earlier, but the chill, standard, and hurry are only active in version 12 on city streets with speed limits 50 miles per hour or above. On version 13, they're pretty much on all the time unless you're getting close to your destination or you just started your drive. And on version 13, when the speed profiles aren't on, and I would like to point out we're going the speed limit, which is awesome. But on version 13, when the speed profiles turn off, it feels like somebody strapped another car to the back of your car. It just slows down so much, and I was really worried that that was going to be the case on this build, since the speed profiles don't turn on until 50, that it was going to want to drive really slow. Look at this, we're slowing down for the railroad tracks. I don't even think version 13 does that. It's feeling really good. But yeah, I was worried that this was going to do the same thing, being that the speed profiles aren't on until 50. But no, doesn't have an issue with speed. I really hope one day we can roll stop signs again. Now, the coming to a full stop isn't like a huge deal. It does not bother me like it used to, and it's gotten a lot better. It does come to a full stop, but it's quick to go now once you see 0 on the screen. But I'm really hoping that something or another leads to us being able to roll stop signs again. That would be very nice. We are carrying good speed through here. Speed limit is 35 through here. The screen says 50. Map data through here just isn't good, but interestingly enough, since it says 50, it's got the speed profile turned on, and that might be what's getting us to go the speed that we're going. It feels just a little bit twitchy through here. That last like half mile, y'all could probably see it in the steering wheel a little bit. It just felt a little bit unstable is maybe the word. Now, not bad by any means, but it was noticeable. It just doesn't have that rock solid feel that version 13 does. So we're about 3.5 miles from our destination. I have not done a single thing yet. I'm very happy with how this is performing. Like I said before, I think if you're an AI3 person, this is a drastic improvement for you. And hopefully Tesla does the right thing, gets a good computer upgrade in these cars. Hopefully they can upgrade cameras so that you can get the full 5 megapixel, 36 hertz or frames per second, you know, clarity from the cameras. Version 13 is really good. I think it's only going to improve. Now, I'm still stuck on 13.2.2, and if you're stuck there too, I saw a post the other day. I'll try to find it, and if I can, I'll put it up on the screen. If not, then I couldn't find it. But I guess, all right, we got some people up here. I'd be offsetting a little bit for them. I would have given them more room. I would have just gotten over to the other side of the road and given them a ton of room, but that's just me. I think that is my first pedestrian interaction with this version. But anyway, what I was saying before, if you're watching everybody else, or it seems like everybody else, get a new version of 13 and you're still stuck on 13.2.2, I saw somebody who I'm assuming, I think it was a Tesla employee, they didn't have the little affiliation badge, but they were talking that there is something wrong with the update path and that they're working on a fix, but that some people on 13.2.2, there was some kind of an issue getting them new updates. So I think they're all the way up to 13.2.7 now. But I really haven't heard a whole lot of talk about whether or not it's much better than 13.2.2. So I'm interested in getting that. The real one that I'm interested in is 13.3.3, which should be a pretty big update. We don't really know anything about it yet. I'm just honestly speculating. Now, I would wait here. Yeah, good call waiting. It started to go. Yeah, it's a good time to go now. Nicely done. Now, that white SUV, or whatever you want to call that thing that just passed us, they probably thought we were getting ready to pull out in front of them, and they probably lifted off the pedal, but the car ended up waiting. That was the right move, so good job there. Let's see if it'll go the speed limit through here. Once again, we have one of these like dual speed limit situations where it's 55 for cars, 45 for trucks, which I'm assuming is like 18-wheelers. We're pretty much going the speed limit. If we're slowing down at all, it's probably only because of this car toaster looking thing in front of us. Nissan Cube, that's what it is. It's a very interesting rear window on it. It's like all over to the right. I guess the back hatch of it opens up from the left. It's interesting. All right, coming up to the next intersection, and we're going to be turning left up here. Now, we're going to turn left here, and then we'll end up turning right. I'm very interested to see how it does on the right turn, because every other version I've had for the past year has had a hard time with this turn. It wants to turn too far to the right, because it is a weird intersection. But let's see what it does. Hopefully the white car in front of us keeps going straight so that it doesn't kind of lead my car in any way, which it looks like they are. So what it wants to do most of the time is turn too sharp and kind of go down this road to the right. Yeah, y'all can still see it still struggles with that. but it has improved. It used to be where it would really mess that up. In fact, like, that's caused me disengagements before. It's been a little while, but it has caused me disengagements before. So it's good to see that it's making it through there, but still a little bit of weird steering wheel movement. It didn't mistake that black strip as a speed bump, which it has in the past. And just once again, it just feels so confident through here. The speed control is just really good. It's not getting too close to curbs through turns. That was happening for a while, which is super uncomfortable. There's nothing I hate worse than a curbed wheel. But, and knock on wood, we'll knock on this fake wood trim here. I have not curbed a wheel in either of my Teslas yet, and I'm trying to keep it that way, and I don't want FSD to do it for me. So let's see how it does through here. Sometimes it wants to go too slow through here. Got some people up in the road, but it's not going too slow. It feels really good. Doing a good job slowing down for these people. Oh, that felt really good. As soon as she stepped out of the road onto the sidewalk, it immediately started accelerating again. That just felt really good. So we're pretty much at the end of the drive now. I'll go ahead and start giving like my final thoughts on it. I'm really happy with this. It makes me like want to drive this car more because like on 12.5.4.2, the only time I would drive this is if like the weather was really bad or something and I didn't want to drive the newer one. But like I like driving this for leisure now. It's this is a really good version. If you're on Hardware 3 and that's all you've got, good for you. I'm glad that they finally got a better version out. Like I said, I was really discouraged with 12.5.4.2 that was what version, or that was what Hardware 3 was going to be for a while. This is a huge improvement. We'll see if it parks up here or if we even can. There's like a little spot that normally we pull over to the right at the end of these, but it might be blocked. But yeah, this is really good. I'm really happy with this. This was a zero intervention, zero disengagement drive. There wasn't even a point where like if I wasn't filming that I would have intervened. It just overall did an excellent job. It's driving right past where we should park at. I'm not sure what it's going to do here, but yeah, there was never a point where I even feel like I wanted to hit the pedal or anything like that to make it speed up, or like I needed to slow down or take over or anything. Yeah, this is a really good build. So hopefully it only gets better from here. I'm really interested to see what the future of Hardware 3 is, or if it becomes Hardware 3.5 or what happens. We pulled over to the side of the road here and parked. It's never parked here before. I'm pretty happy with that. I'm gonna go ahead and put the car in park. Let me know your thoughts down below. If you've got this version, I'm really interested to hear how it's performing for you. I'm super happy with it. It's not quite version 13, but it is really good. And I do just want to throw this in here real quick. This is kind of the opposite of what I always say at the end of these videos. Please don't use my referral code. I'm gonna make a separate video about this specifically, but I did not know this. I've been pushing my referral codes in the video, and to anybody who's used it, I really appreciate you. But unfortunately, I guess Virginia, and I think it's also Ohio, the person who does the referring, which in this case would be me, is not eligible to get any kind of a reward for it. So to anybody that's been using my code, it doesn't even tell me when you use it. I've been thinking that nobody's used it until somebody finally left a comment telling me that they did, but I haven't gotten anything for it. And so if you've watched all the way up until this point, put your referral code down in the description block. Please use somebody else's code, somebody who's eligible to get the rewards. So like I said, to anybody who has used it, thank you. To anybody who watched the whole video, thank you. And until the next video, I will see y'all later.